A warm welcome back. This is the Big Small Business Show. Now, from the 1st of July 2018, it will be mandatory to submit your annual financial statements to CIPC, making use of IXSBRLs, too many letters, IXSBRL, the IXSBRL standard. Now, IXSBRL is the abbreviation for Inline Extensible Business Reporting Language. Joining me now in studio to give you more information is Joey Mateka, Senior Manager, Corporate Compliance and Disclosure Regulation at CIPC, and one of our regulars, Juanita Steenekamp, Project Director, Governance and Non-IFRS Reporting at SAICA. Wow, that was a mouthful of all sorts of things. Let's start with you, Joey. This IXSBRL, what exactly is it? What is it?
Thank you, Alan. IXSBRL is basically a mechanism for reporting which allows entities that report to submit reports which are both machine readable and human readable. Okay. Because usually when reports are generated, they would be submitted to CIPC in a PDF form. Yes. But through XBRL, the systems within CIPC are also able to receive and read the content of those reports. Okay, so just let me try and clear this up now. So if I submit a PDF, a human can read it, yes. Okay, but a computer can't read it. It doesn't have the digital format inside for it to be translated in various templates, so it won't know what's in various fields within a template. But with IXSBRL, the computer then can understand what's in that document. Would that be a good summary? Yes, it is a good summary. Okay. So what does this mean? You know, this show is all about small business, and it feels like now something else. Now it's going to cost me money as a small business to do this. What does it mean for me, the small business?
Okay. So first things, the small business would have to go and see whether this applies to them. So if you were filing your financial statements currently, yes, you would have to file next year as well. Yes. So the filing says that if you are required to be audited in terms of the Act, you have to file your financial statements. But many smaller companies and closed corporations, remember this also applies to closed corporations, many of them they submitted their financials anyway, because you either have to submit financials or file a financial accountability supplement. Mm-hmm. So for some of them, the accountability supplement was just too much work, so they would have filed their financials. And all those financials from next year needs to be filed using IXSBRL. Okay, so just, you know, Joey, from a, I just want to get to like how my life is going to change. I just want to get, because I'm watching this now and I'm thinking, what's going to change in my life? So I was submitting before. Was I using PDF before to submit? Yes. Emailing the PDF to CIPC. Okay. And now, do I go online and there is a form there? Do I have to download some software now and then I use it? What's different other than the fact that it's a different language? What do I physically, what's different in my life? The basic difference is this will be machine-to-machine submissions, which means if the output of a set of financials was PDF, yes, this time there will be software which will allow an uploading of a structured type of document into CIPC. So it will be a soft copy. Yes. Into the CIPC. But systems. Do I go into the CIPC? I don't have to have anything on my system. I'll go online into your system. Is that right? No. No. See, if I'm not getting it, okay, there are going to be millions out there that are going to get it. So the entity, yes, will have used a particular software to produce the financials. Yes. And the same software will be compatible, yes, for XBRL. Yes. So they will use we can use names of software here on this is not that kind of show. So if they use Pastel, yes, as an example, or Caseware, yes, right? So so the Caseware system will be compatible to allow users to submit their financials into CIPC systems. Right. So the three components which are key for this functionality is that
the company will need to have a software that is able to allow them to communicate to CIPC systems.
Right.
So once the financials are ready,
yes,
those financials will just be transmitted to CIPC, and
yes,
CIPC will apply some validations to ensure that the submission is successful.
Right.
And if there are any non-compliances, the system will automatically return a report to the user to say the following needs to still be added before your submission is successful.
Okay.
So we're not changing the actual generation of the output document.
Yes.
We're only changing the mechanism of reporting.
Right.
So a company does not have to report using PDF anymore. They only report to us from machine to machine.
Okay. Now, is this going to, let me ask the hard question first, which is, what happens if I don't? So you're just not going to accept, maybe I should ask you, will you just, if I send it in PDF, of course, but what happens if I say I can't find that software, I don't have that software? Is it now, I'm now going to be in breach, is that right?
The principles which applied when a company had to submit PDF would apply even with regards to IXBRL. And CIPC has brought together software service providers into a panel.
Yes. And
in our discussions, we are deliberating on how can we make it easier for small enterprises to comply.
Okay.
So I think it is against that background that we will find a way of ensuring that all company owners are able to access software which will allow them to still communicate to CIPC in their submission of annual financial statements. Those who choose not to comply, the Act is very clear that that will trigger an investigation which will lead to a compliance notice, etc. And nobody wants that, because every company wants to make sure that their governance, environment is, in good standing.
So this comes into effect on the 1st of July. And I would then have to submit my, 2017 financials. Would that be correct?
Okay. Yeah, remember you submit financial statements together with your annual return.
Yes.
Annual return is due 30 days after your anniversary date.
Yes.
So say your anniversary date, let's use an example, is 1st of July next year. 30 days later you have to submit.
Yes.
So at that stage, your 2018 audited financials would not have been completed yet, so you would have to submit your 2017, yes. So you'd submit 2017 financials plus your annual return at that stage.
Okay. Just before, last question for you, Jay. I know you're here on this platform talking to the entrepreneurs, but what other forms of communication are you putting out there to let a business know that this is now the new normal?
We are working closely with the accounting and auditing professional bodies to spread the word to the professionals in terms of accountants and auditors. We are also using social media. We also invest in advertorials, plus also we publish articles in various media.
Okay.
More than anything, workshops, seminars, webinars, that's how we reach out to the market.
Look, everything changes and everything has to improve, and of course so does CIPC, and just as long as I wish you a very nice transition, an easy transition from PDF to IXBRL. Do you want to say something?
I just want to add something. I think on the CIPC website they've released some very nice FAQs which the public can go and access to explain some of the information. I think it just makes it easier.
Okay, what's the website?
It's www.cipc.co.za.
Easy as that. Joey, Juanita, thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you,
and
Alan.
Thanks for always coming with your smile. At least this time it was good news. It wasn't bad news. Normally she comes here and only brings bad news. But today it was not bad news. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan.
Well, it's time for my impressions for today, and I want to take my impressions from Warren's interview from Zinnia, and he spoke about something that I hear far too often with entrepreneurs. You know, when he spoke about the fact that he went and his business rose to an incredible height and then crashed. And when he was at the lowest low, other people were asking him to come work for them at that time. Now, I call that the sirens. Sirens, of course, are from Greek mythology. In Greek mythology, there were all these sailors that were in the doldrums, and then there were these like mermaids that were sirens calling the sailors to jump off into the water, where, of course, the sirens would drown them and eat them. And that is what I call that part of your entrepreneurial journey, when you sort of crash and burn and you're trying to get your business back up again. And of course, you start to get all sorts of people asking you to come work for them, or are you really an entrepreneur? 5 points to think about if you are in this position right now. The first thing is to decide whether or not you are an entrepreneur. And that's a very important thing, because sometimes you're not an entrepreneur right now, and that's okay. And if you've come to a point where your business has failed and you are not an entrepreneur right now, then to go and get a job is the right thing to do. But if you are, believe deep down inside, you believe that you are entrepreneurial, deep down inside, then it's important to make that decision that I am an entrepreneur. Go through that pain of making that decision in your head. Then number 2, expect the sirens. They will come. Every single entrepreneurial story where there is a crash, where there is a downturn in your business, has sirens in it, where other people are inviting you to come join their businesses. Okay. If you are an entrepreneur at when you make that decision and you get the sirens, now you know it's in conflict. Number 3 is co-opt your spouse or your partner into this discussion. Because if they think that you should go and get a job and you think you're an entrepreneur, there will be conflict and more pressure on you to actually give up and go out and find a job. So it's important to co-opt them into the discussion. Number 4 is fill your time with trying to solve the problem of your business now. It's an important thing to do, that you have a positive distraction in front of you every day, making sure that you are focused on just trying to turn your business around every day. Don't look for other negative distractions. Which brings me to the last point here, which is never go to a lunch meeting or a dinner meeting just to listen. It will be the beginning of the end. If somebody invites you, says, what harm can it do? Just come listen to what I have to offer you. It will mess with your head. It will take away the pressure to actually move forward, and you will probably land up as part of the 90% of the 96% of entrepreneurs who just one day wake up and say, I just can't do it anymore. Don't be one of those. Well, that's it for my impressions for today. Do remember that in 2018 we are coming to you. We are getting out of our fancy studios and we are coming to your business wherever you might be in Gauteng. So if you are in Gauteng and you want me to come to your business, maybe to showcase what you do at your business, show off a little bit, and then let's talk about some issues that you might be having in your business. Let's sit down and have that discussion in your business. If you want to be on our show, do make a booking on Big Small at bdtv.co.za, or engage with us on Twitter at bsbs_bdtv. It's goodbye from me, and remember, if you think it, write it down and make it a reality.
The Courage to Grow is Business, the big small business show made possible by MTN Business, a new world of business.
And by Chartered Accountants of South Africa. Lead your industry with a responsible partner. Partner with the CASA today.